on a pick six.
Jones out of the shotgun, takes the snap, drop back, has time, able to throw, it tipped in the air and intercepted. It's picked off by the Eagles. Racing down the sideline is Darius Slay, the 30, 25-20, and he will prance into the end zone.
And now, here's Rob Dibble.
Oh, we were just watching some Big Blue versus Dallas highlights, and man, I'll tell you what, the block kick, the pick six, that must have just broke your heart if you're a Giants fan.
Those are huge plays, huge
They were
swings.
huge
I mean,
plays.
it's
Great
people think of like it's
stops.
7 points,
Yep.
but really it's a 14-point swing on a pick six. It's a 10-point swing on a block kick to the house. It's bad.
Good if you're a Cowboys fan and watching the Cow. Listen, I truly believe their defense is going to win them a lot of football games. It won them that football game last night. It took them out of their game plan. Like I said, you get Micah Parsons and the fact that he can get in there or get double teamed and get other bodies in there, it really, really helps them. They had 7 sacks last night. 7 sacks. I mean, the 40-0's great, but the sacks, the turnovers, I think they led the NFL in turnovers last year, the plus minus. That's the kind of stuff they have to do because I still, even as good as Pollard, their wide receivers, all of that, I don't trust my quarterback. I mean, and so if you don't trust your quarterback, you need those other guys doing so much of the yeoman's work, and they did it last night.
Do you think that the Giants D is really, really good, or the Cowboys D is really, really good, or the Giants offense is really, really good?
I don't think the Giants offense is that bad. I thought they were rusty. They didn't look prepared as they will be in 2-3 weeks. But I think a lot of it is you don't hit as much in practice anymore. You don't do the 2-a-day pounding on each other. That's the kind of stuff that toughens these guys up and gets them ready. And then especially the preseason. I was thinking about this. I told you this in the first segment. If I didn't throw, I pitched in 50% of the spring training games to get ready for the season. That's 15 of the 30 games. If I pitched in 5 of 30 games, I would not be prepared for the season to start. So I don't know how they do it. I don't. Let's just take the NBA. Those guys shoot around in the morning before a game that night. The NHL, they do a skate around in the morning before a game. That's how you prepare. This is why I think the Major League Baseball, is so shoddy right now. They refuse to do in and out. They don't want to take ground balls. They don't want to take fly balls. They certainly don't take them live off the bat and BP anymore. So a lot of what you see, the garbage defense during these games, is because they don't put in the work. And they're not forced to. These coaches are afraid to force these players. That's part of your job as a professional. So I'm not saying they should have to do that. I know the Ivy League for more than 5 years has not tackled during practice. They outlawed it. So, the fact is they're trying to cut down on injuries. And so, I don't think the Giants are as bad as the Cowboys look good.
As I always think of in this conversation what Belichick always says, that you can't get better playing football unless you play football.
That's right.
It's totally true, man. Like, game speed is a real thing, especially in this league. It's a whole nother sport.
Right, if you're a lineman and you're trying to stop a Micah Parsons, if you're not going at game speed a lot leading up to
there's nothing that can emulate that. They don't have a machine that makes a fake Micah Parsons for me to practice against. All of that.
Those robotic tackling dummies.
They're not as fast.
Remote control. They're not as fast as Micah Parsons.
As low as Parsons. Parsons' ability to get low and keep moving forward, I think, is the best attribute of his game. Like, he can duck under these big fat sloppies reach.
I was
and
laughing
still
at college. We're saying he's got short arms and that makes him more susceptible for these big dude, he's so much quicker than these linemen. They can't get a hand on him.
That's what it is.
How are you going to stop him?
That's what it is. That's why the guy from Kansas City on Thursday night was a step behind where he's supposed to line up, because he knows. He's already like, dude, I'm not as fast as that. I can't do that unless I get another 2-3 inches and I start even a split second faster than everybody else.
Hutchinson is insane, and he's quick, and he's not as quick as Micah Parsons.
Guys like that have to be double teamed, and you're already taken away. When you play offense versus defense in just a 7-on-7, it's not really 7-on-7. It's really 7-on-6. The quarterback is a part of this. Now, if a quarterback is like a Daniel Jones, where you're not expecting him to scramble around and bust out something that's not, a part of the actual plan of the play, he's going to have to rely on scheme and for guys to get open. And if it takes longer than 3 seconds with that defensive front that he's facing, it's over. It's over. So there's just so much a fast defensive line can fix for a defense, and so much havoc that it can be made before you even think about getting to your progression, going through your ones and twos, knowing who's going to be open on a hot route. If you waste any kind of thought time on that on your drop back, you're done.
Yeah,
you're done.
Another guy on that line I love is Jonathan Hankins. He played 5 games for the Cowboys last year, got injured. He was out there last night, 6'2", 320. He looks like he's 350. He is just absolutely busting into that line and wearing those dudes down. And it takes 1 or 2 guys to try to stop him every time. That's the kind of stuff you need. And as long as the Cowboys can stay healthy on defense, I think they're going to be a nightmare all year.
Honestly, I don't even think that, I think they're so deep. I think they can suffer a couple injuries this year. I mean,
DeMarcus Lawrence is awesome. Vander Esch was in and out of the lineup the last couple of years. Yeah. You need him to stay healthy. I just think that some of these guys that they brought in, and even some of these younger guys that they brought in the secondary, they got to do the job, man. Even Diggs. Diggs gets a holding penalty. That's, you know why? Because the guy was blown by you. So the only thing you could do is hold him. Just do your job, dude. Do what you're supposed to do. Cover these guys.
I'm looking forward to seeing the Giants play again.
I am too. I mean, listen, I'm part Giants fan. I watched Giants growing up so much in my world because I'd have to watch them twice at my ex-in-law's house. I had to watch the live game and the tape game. So I watched a lot of Giants growing up. I remember the 3-13 seasons. I've watched a lot of Giants. It's not that I'm not a fan. I'm just more of a Cowboys fan from the 70s.
I'm just wondering if the possession style of offense, where we're just trying to move the chains, win the TOP game, the time of possession, try to grind out football wins instead of the 5-wide look that Tua and Miami are giving you, or a quarterback-heavy offense like Baltimore is giving you with Lamar. I don't know if you can do it with the statue in the back and trying to hand it off to the beast running back all day. Tennessee Titans.
Which should be doing that.
Should be.
And they didn't. But they lost the football game.
Still, just that style of offense, I don't know, is it working anymore in the NFL? And I just feel like the Giants got to get more creative on offense. They've got to get some of these young, I guess they're not young, everybody's young now, get some of these offensive weapons in the mix. We'll see with a healthy Darren Waller next week for the New York Giants. I just want to start thinking tanking and thinking you need to get Caleb Williams after one game against the Cowboys defense that's totally
I thought we just gave Daniel Jones a huge extension.
We did, but NFL stands for not for long, and people overreact like crazy after a 42-0 first week blowout. So,
well, I don't think people in Cincinnati are overreacting, though. And Joe Burrow looked awful. Absolutely awful. But he did last year. Early in the season. They did not look, they were disjointed everywhere. And then all of a sudden it all came together and it's like, oh my God, these guys are unbelievable. You can't beat them. I mean, that's I think it's going to come together for the Giants. Haven't seen the Jets and the Buffalo Bills yet. A lot of people are down on the Buffalo Bills. I don't know why. I still think the Buffalo Bills are amazing. So we shall see. I'm looking forward to that game as much as any other Monday night game. And I really, other than my fantasy team, have no rooting interest other than I think the Buffalo Bills are really good, and I think the Jets are really improved. I think Aaron Rodgers' mentality improves your locker room, where guys are like, "Geez, this guy's serious all the time." I mean, yeah, when he plays, but for the most part, you're there to be professional. You're there to win football games. That's what you're getting paid to do. And I think that when you bring in guys like that have won Super Bowls, won MVPs, what, he got 3 or 4 MVPs? I mean, they're not giving those away just because he's a good guy. They're giving those away because that guy, he executes. He does what he's supposed to do. And he hasn't had the greatest teams either. Not all those Green Bay teams were great that he was an MVP on. So I just think that he brings a good winning attitude to the Jets. I think that's going to make him better.
He's got 4 MVPs.
4 MVPs.
2011, 2014,
in the NFL.
2020, 2021.
That's insane. How many did Brady win? Brady win 4? I don't even think Brady won 4.
Yeah, but he's got 7 Super Bowls, so it really doesn't
listen,
matter.
I get that. But that's the team helps you as well. I think that Aaron Rodgers would have a couple more if he were on the Patriots back then.
I'm really happy for a lot of these quarterbacks that were kind of counted out last year, and then boom, they pop on week 1, and they're already starting with a win under their belt. Baker's first one that comes to my mind. Super happy for this guy. He was fighting Kyle Trask and still is, I think, for the first quarterback spot. So, it's good now. We'll see if they give him any kind of rope if they lose 2 in a row. But a really good start going to Minnesota and winning at that spot. He didn't. All these guys, a lot of these guys that get wins in the NFL this week, they didn't have to do much. Looking at that Ohio battle, Deshaun Watson, he won the football game. He had a great couple of plays with his legs, but throwing the football is still to be desired. I think him and Elijah Moore and Monty Cooper, they're going to figure some stuff out in the next couple of weeks that could make them even more dangerous.
Mike Evans, by the way, said that he's not going to sign an extension with Tampa Bay. You don't need that kind of distraction, but it's going on. I mean, you got that going on with Tampa Bay.
I was wondering about that dynamic as well because he's still got to get his, right?
Yeah, he's 30 years old, but that guy can play, man.
But he's got to make plays. He had 5 catches and a touchdown and a big touchdown for Tampa Bay as it came out to be, everything that they needed to get that win. So that's just a really interesting dynamic that's going down there because you got Chris Godwin there that's getting some ball. That's a good receiving core to work with no matter who's the quarterback is. And like you said, you just don't need that kind of stuff going on in the course of a season. But at least he's out there on the field and playing.
It's not Jonathan Taylor. That's disappointing. That guy's so special. Jonathan Taylor.
Him and Chris Jones, I hope deals get done because not only do I think, obviously I'm a Colts fan. I would love to see Jonathan Taylor out there. I root for the Chiefs and Andy Reid. I'd love to see Chris Jones out there. But I feel the same way I do with Le'Veon Bell. I feel as a fan deprived to see them play football. And in this sport, you can't play those particular positions for that long. So their shelf life continues to dwindle the longer they stay out of the game.
New Orleans beat the Tennessee Titans 16-15. What'd you think of Derek Carr? What'd you think of Jamal Williams?
All right. I mean, Derek Carr did this with the Raiders, too. Threw for a bunch of yards, but, didn't blow teams out. They got the win. It was a 1-point win. I thought defense played pretty good.
Hope people took the under on that one.
Yeah, I'm sure. If you're playing against the Tennessee Titans and the over and under is 40+, I'd take the under every single time. I'm happy for Derek Carr getting the win. I think he had a lot of flack that he's still probably trying to get through even as the season goes on, but a win's a win.
DeAndre Hopkins, new man with the Titans. 7 catches for 65 yards, was targeted 13 times. Is that more Tannehill than him dropping the ball?
No, that's more Tannehill. I give this some time.
3 picks for Tannehill. Just I know some Titan fans were getting after me that was awful.
Where are you going to go? Will Levis, isn't he hurt still? You got Malik Willis. You ready to trust that?
No.
I think Will Levis might be an answer if this team continues to lose and they're looking to see what they got, as we always say with your baseball teams. And he might find himself as the starting quarterback. But they only lost by 1. I think they can rely on King Henry a little bit more. I was happy for Tua. A lot of people.
I'm happy for Tua. I hate that people put this dude down so much.
But don't forget, this guy was out for the back half of the season. He did not start that playoff game. Skylar Thompson, is that who got the start? And they almost beat the Buffalo Bills. This Miami Dolphin team is for real on the offensive end, man. If Tua is healthy, he's been hurt in college. He's been hurt every year in the pros. It's been knees, it's been hips, it's been shoulders, it's been head. So there is a lot of potential. I would rather bet Tua getting hurt and not finishing the season than him finishing the season just based on the odds.
And I know you don't wish that on anybody, but you got to have the guy's got to be healthy.
But what we saw yesterday was great, dude. If this guy can play 17 weeks this year, I think he is going to break Dan Marino or whoever has the record for most passing yards in a season. The offense with Tyreek Hill, Waddle, everyone else they got going, He could be throwing 500 yards every week.
I'll tell you, Austin Eckler's still a beast. Guy's unbelievable. 16 carries, 117 yards, over 7 yards average carry.
How does that team continue to lose?
I don't know.
How do they keep losing games? They got talent, defensive side of the ball, too.
Always coming up short. 34 points. This is like scoring seven runs in a baseball game. If you don't win, something awful happened. Pitcher didn't do the job. Bullpen didn't do the job. You get 34 points in a football game and you lose? Who do you point the finger at?
Head coach.
Bad decision making.
I was happy for Brock Purdy getting a win, and not only getting a win for San Francisco, but I think yesterday's win at Pittsburgh, a lot of people already are thinking, okay, we got to start penciling that team in for the NFC Championship as well. Here's the teams. Cowboys, Eagles, 49ers, all going to play for the NFC Championship. 3 teams, 1 game. Who wins?
Right now? After last night, I take the Cowboys.
I'd take any one of those teams.
After 17 more weeks, I don't know who I'm going to pick. It's a long season. You got a lot of attrition. A lot of injuries are going to happen, and hopefully they're just not too damaging to any of these teams.
Shout out to Jordan Love, too, man. Shout out to that guy.
Good start for you, man. To win that football game, being in the shadow of Aaron Rodgers, maybe that takes a little bit of heat off of you.
A little bit. What would it be?
God, Justin Fields, man, can't catch a break.
What would it be if Jordan Love turns into an MVP? I'd be sick to my stomach. That Green Bay, I'll tell you what, as much as they try to mess up that quarterback position, they keep on falling into MVP action.
All right, Mike Crispino was there. He witnessed this UConn loss to Georgia State, so we'll talk to Mike Crispino. And also we want to throw some NBA at him, too, with this whole LeBron news. How about these guys? They load management during the NBA season. Now you want to go play in the Olympics? What is going on? Be right back with Mike Crispino.